Have you ever noticed how certain words make the system nervous? When Young Thug merged with his unique vocal style, that moment when language melted into pure sound and emotion, something profound happened in our collective consciousness. It wasn't just music hitting your ears, it was a frequency disruption in the field. I've been captivated watching the YSL RICO case unfold, not just as a legal proceeding, but as a ritual of power playing out on the public stage. What fascinates me isn't just the charges or courtroom drama, but how this case reveals deeper patterns about who gets to create meaning in our society. Today, we're exploring why Young Thug's linguistic innovations triggered such intense systematic reaction, not because of alleged crimes, but because Black language creation represents a form of consciousness technology that operates outside established control structures. By examining this case through multiple dimensions, we can gain extraordinary insights into the profound power of linguistic creation and why certain forms of expression are celebrated while others are criminalized. Let's dive into what this historic trial reveals about the quantum mechanics of language, power, and consciousness itself. When Young Thug transforms conventional language into something new, he's not just making stylistic choices, he's engaging in reality creation at the quantum level. Language doesn't just describe our world, it literally shapes the field of what's possible. Think about how Young Thug's unique vocal approach, the way he stretches syllables, transforms words into pure sound, and creates new linguistic expressions, isn't just artistic style. It's consciousness technology that creates new neural pathways in listeners' minds. Before someone coined the term heartbreak, people experienced the feeling but couldn't name it. Once named, it became a shared reality we could all access. When Young Thug created the terms like slime or slap, he wasn't just making slang, he was bringing new realities into existence through sound and language. This explains why prosecutors have fixated so intensely on specific words and phrases from lyrics. When they present catching bodies or slat as criminal code rather than artistic expression, they're attempting to criminalize the very act of Black linguistic creation. It's like watching quantum particles being forced back into predictable patterns after they've already expanded into new possibilities. What's most revealing is how this language policing follows a clear pattern throughout history. The system doesn't fear the words themselves. It fears the autonomous reality creation happening outside approved channels, the consciousness expansion that can't be controlled. The frequency pattern throughout history. This fear of Black linguistic innovation follows a clear frequency pattern throughout history. It's a quantum entanglement between language, power, and consciousness that keeps repeating across different eras. Jazz was once considered dangerous criminal music, with its improvisational freedom threatening established musical structures. AAVE has been systematically devalued in educational settings despite its complex linguistic innovations. Even the way dancehall and patois created new linguistic possibilities triggered by similar reactions. I've observed how this pattern follows three phases. First comes fascination with Black linguistic innovation. Then mainstream culture adopts these innovations. Finally, the original creators face criminalization for the very expression now celebrated in mainstream contexts. Notice how Black or slang terms created in Black communities eventually enter mainstream vocabulary, appearing in advertisements and corporate communications, yet when used by their originators, these same terms become evidence of criminal conspiracy. The YSL case represents a perfect manifestation of this pattern, the very ambiguity of what those letters represent. Young stoner life or young slime life demonstrates the power of linguistic fluidity that systems of control find deeply threatening. What makes this pattern so significant isn't just its historical reputation or repetition, but what it reveals about consciousness itself. Language that creates community bonds outside established power structures, language that enables autonomous reality creation, will always trigger systematic response, revealing exactly where true power lies. The criminalization of consciousness expansion. The most revealing aspect of this case is how prosecutors are treating artistic expression as literal confession. This collapse of metaphor into evidence exposes a fundamental fear, the fear of Black imagination itself. When Young Thug raps, "I'm prepared to take them down," is he describing actual violence or expressing emotional determination? The answer reveals more about the observer than the observed. It shows us how certain forms of consciousness expansion are permitted while others are criminalized. Think about how Silicon Valley celebrates disruptive innovation while Black linguistic innovation gets labeled as gang activity. Think about how country music can describe violence without facing RICO charges. The selective application reveals the quantum field of bias operating beneath legal structures. I've noticed how this criminalization extends beyond the courtroom into our collective consciousness. When media reports uncritically accept the framing of Black linguistic creation as criminal code, they're participating in the same pattern of consciousness control. What's most profound is how the case has stretched to become the longest in Georgia history. Time itself warps when systems encounter something they can't easily categorize. The extraordinary measures taken, 56 accounts, 8 defendants, hundreds of witnesses, reveal the energetic intensity of the response to this perceived threat. This isn't just about YSL. It's about a system confronting something it deeply fears. Autonomous creation of meaning that operates outside established control structures. Consciousness expansion that can't be contained within approved channels. Reclaiming linguistic power. How do we respond to this pattern? By recognizing that language creation is one of our most profound forms of power, a quantum technology for shaping reality itself. Every time Young Thug transformed conventional language into something new, he demonstrated that reality isn't fixed. It's constantly being created through our expressions. This is why his music resonated so deeply with so many people. It opened portals to new possibilities. The system's response shows us exactly where our power lies. When prosecutors spend years building cases around slang terms and lyrics, they're inadvertently revealing exactly what threatens established control, our ability to create meaning outside their frameworks. I've observed how Young Thug's innovation has already transformed music globally. Artists from completely different backgrounds now incorporate his approaches to sound and language. That's not just influence, that's consciousness evolution happening in real time through artistic expression. What's most powerful about this perspective is recognizing that linguistic innovation can't be contained. No matter how this case resolves legally, the consciousness expansion it represents has already entered the collective field. The quantum ripples can't be reversed. This is why supporting linguistic freedom isn't just about defending artistic expression. It's about protecting consciousness expansion itself, our fundamental right to create new realities through language. When we recognize language as reality creation technology, we understand exactly why certain forms of expression trigger such intense systematic response. When we recognize these patterns, we gain the power to transform them. The YSL case isn't just about the justice system or rap music. It's about who gets to create meaning and shape reality. Every time you express yourself in ways that feel authentic rather than prescribed, you're participating in this same quantum dance. You're creating ripples in the field that expand what's possible for all of us. I invite you to notice how language shapes your reality. Pay attention to moments when new words or expressions open doors to new experiences. That's not just communication, that's consciousness technology at work. If this perspective resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe to join our community. Also share this video with someone who might see this case differently, and let me know in the comment section what linguistic innovations have expanded your consciousness. Remember, in quantum universe, observation changes reality. By observing these patterns together, we already already creating new possibilities for what comes next. Until next time, stay beautiful, stay conscious in the field.